There's one thing I can't stand to have in my lawn, and that's this stuff right here. I can find a good example. Poa Annua. Cannot stand this stuff. Today, I'll show you what I'm going to do to try and avoid having it next year. So while a lot of folks are doing overseeding this year or full renovations in their cool season lawns, I'm not going to be doing that this year. Last year I made a kind of a forgetful mistake when I renovated this last August. Yeah, it came in really well, and I had full intentions of putting a pre-emergent down after the lawn had established, and I completely forgot about it. So now I'm paying for it because the Poa Annua that was here prior to the renovation came right back. All those seed heads end up in the soil, and no matter what you do, they're going to come back unless you apply a pre-emergent such as Prodiamine or Dithiopyr. So if you're not doing a seeding or overseeding project, I would highly recommend that as your soil temperatures start to approach 70 degrees, which that's coming very quickly for a lot of you, for somebody like me it's already here, is to apply a pre-emergent to protect against winter germinating weeds. Now, most of the time people think putting down a pre-emergent is only something done in the spring, and that's just not the case. Poa Annua germinates in the fall and winter, and you don't see it until the spring. Others that also germinate in the fall and winter is clover, chickweed, and a few others. So if you have issues with those types of weeds, the best thing to do is to apply a fall pre-emergent. Now, I've done several videos on what amounts you should use, how to figure out what those amounts are, when to apply it, how to mix it, and all that. And I'll link to those videos up here. So I'm not going to really go through all that today. But one thing you can do if you're doing an overseeding or even a full renovation is you can still apply pre-emergents after the fact. Now, everybody will say, well, I use tenacity. Great. That'll last you about 3 weeks. Good luck to you. That's not going to happen not going to help you all winter long. Tenacity, while everybody raves it up, its pre-emergent properties don't last very long at all. So should you use it at time of seeding? Sure, it'd probably help a little bit, but like I said, it's not going to last. So as your new grass starts to establish, what you can do is, as long as it's been growing for at least 1 month and you've cut it at least twice, you can apply stronger pre-emergents such as Prodiamine or Dithiopyr. Now, don't think that you're going to miss a temperature window. In the fall, you generally want to put down pre-emergents as your soil hits 70 degrees, but that's just when things start. It will continue to happen throughout the fall and even into the winter months. So the sooner you can get it down, of course, the better protection you're going to have. But just because you're not doing right at 70 degrees doesn't mean it's going to be completely useless. It's not. Something down as a pre-emergent is better than absolutely nothing down as a pre-emergent. So I would suggest you try it. Now, there's some concern about things like Prodiamine will cause what's called root pruning. Does a little bit of damage to the roots. I'm not familiar entirely with how all that works. I've never noticed any of that type of issue. But again, I use things like RGS, which is a root growth stimulant. And I think that kind of helps. Is there any science behind that? Not that I've seen. So I can't say it's 100%, but I've never had a problem with root pruning that I've seen a noticeable difference. So you can do it after you do a seeding or overseeding project. Remember that if you did Prodiamine earlier in the spring, there is an annual limit on how much you can put down per 1,000 square feet based on your grass type. So make sure you look at the label of Prodiamine, and hopefully you took some notes about how much you put down in the spring, and you don't want to exceed that maximum amount. That's where you can use something like Dithiopyr, which is a little bit different, and you're not going over any type of limit. So if you don't have any Prodiamine, whether you prefer granular or the water dissolvable granular, they're fine. If you don't have any, I'll leave a link in the description down below. You can now get the water dissolvable granular in a smaller container from Yard Mastery. I think it's about $20, and it's enough to last you quite a bit. So I personally use the water dissolvable granular for two reasons. A, you get better coverage because you're actually controlling where you're spraying, and B, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than the granular. So if you're afraid of spraying things, then fine, use the granular. Just know that, you know, the granular coverage probably is not as good. The Dithiopyr I've never had to use, so I couldn't tell you. If I can find links to where you can buy those, say like at domyown.com, or if Yard Mastery has one, I'll leave those in the description as well. So you can use either one. That's just fine. Don't use both. And get that down as soon as you can. So if most people are seeding right now, take note of the date that you start seeing grass growing or germination, and then make sure you go that 30 days and you've mowed it at least twice, and then you can probably go ahead and put down Prodiamine or Dithiopyr safely. So it's not something a whole lot of people encourage you to do. I've done it in the past and it's worked. I just happened to forget it last year, and I ended up having the Poa Annua come right back. So I am working on a video to address what's here, and if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell, and as soon as I get that done, I'll show you what I'm attempting to do here to correct what's already germinated. So still kind of trying to see how that works out. But if you found any value in this video, hit the like button, and hopefully I'll have some results on what I'm doing to treat this Poa Annua now, and hopefully it works.